And how many times do you sit on the couch and you do the laugh to yourself? Like, I live by myself. Don't make fun of me. The Giants, Logan Webb, he's named one of the Cy Young finalists. How about that? Standing ovation for Logan Webb. The Giants picked up the option on Alex Cobb. Big time Timmy Jim was the last Cy Young Award winner we had here. I don't know if Logan's going to win it, but he will win one someday. He led the majors in innings, 216, had 194 strikeouts, 3.25 ERA, in case you're wondering, 33 starts. His 1.3 walks per nine led the league, and his 62% ground ball rate led the major leagues. So that's fun. Congratulations to Logan Webb. I don't know if he's going to win it. I think Blake Snell's got the inside track on that bad boy. And then manager of the year was like Craig Counsell. I'm trying to think who the middle one was. Oh, Skip Schumacher for the Marlins and Brian Snicker. Nowhere to be found was Torey Lovullo, who should win National League Manager of the Year. The fact that he wasn't nominated is a travesty, and Major League Baseball does not get it. If you look around, a lot of the Diamondbacks players are saying as much. So Craig Counsell was the news today. Your thoughts on the managing carousel? I got a lot of thoughts on this. He's going to be the manager of the Cubs. David Ross, who's a friend, and so is Counts, by the way. They're both friends. 5 years, $40 million, highest paid manager ever, $8 million a year. And I think what Major League Baseball is doing is they're finally paying the managers, because there's college managers in the SEC making more than Major League managers, which makes no sense to me. So when you start getting 5 and 40 as a manager, this is telling me that the game is getting back to the manager. It's no longer the front office. If you pay a guy that much money, and then I don't know what Bomel's making here. I'm not going to call him Bomel because I don't know him that well. I don't know what Bob Melvin is making here. But if you're going to pay Counsell that, now the front office is, I don't think, as involved, and you're getting back to the manager having the pop. If my manager's making $8 million a year, what he says goes. I do think there's a real crappy side to this, what happened today, and that's my opinion on it. Like, David Ross was there, and I understand they lost 5 of their last 6, didn't get to the playoffs, talking about the Cubs, and there were some weird managerial moves, but he's a player's manager, and the guys love him. Like, that doesn't count for anything, right? If I hit 200 and everybody loves me in the clubhouse, I still hit 200 and they're going to get rid of me. But when you take somebody else's job like that, like when it's not open and not available, I guess it's big boy sports, right? But that's the crappy part for me. Like, Craig Counsell is a Milwaukee guy. Like, he's a Wisconsin kid. He was the mayor of Milwaukee. I mean, he had a really good thing going up there. Now, I don't know if he ever thought he was going to win a World Series, and it's hard to say no to Wrigley Field in Chicago. It really is. But like, when you talk about what he's accomplished, everybody says he's the man. So I guess the Mets offered him in the neighborhood of $5.5 million a year, which is insane for a manager. I should have managed it. I mean, I'm making close to that here at night at KNBR, but not quite that much. Really close, by the way. But yeah, the whole thing where I just don't understand it. So, and then the Mets hired Carlos Mendoza as their new manager. He was the bench coach for Aaron Boone with the Yankees. And as much as Aaron Boone got thrown out, I feel like he's got a lot of managerial experience, even though he doesn't have managerial experience. Like, he managed half the games for the Yankees this year with Boone getting thrown out. Stephen Vogt is the Guardians' new manager. So standing ovation for all those guys. I don't know what they're making, but it's not quite as much as Raph is making on the other side of the glass. I don't know. So just a weird day. The hot stove is hot. The hot stove is on fire. So we could talk about whatever you want. I'm here for another hour. And these shows are weird rhythm-wise. Like, you come on at 8:45, which is really 9:45 because it's the first day of daylight savings or whatever the hell you call it. And who invented this crap? I almost swore, by the way. I had the S word right on the tip of my tongue. I was about to say, who invented this S? Like, who's in charge of time? Not like Father Time or whatever. Like, who's in charge of time in the United States? I'm going to write a strongly worded email to them because somebody tweeted at me, like, it's for kids and bus stops. They got lights on their phones. Like, put the light on your phone. Every kid has a phone. This is depressing when it gets dark. I'm going to whine for a second. Stay with me. This is depressing when it gets dark at 6 o'clock. And then it's dark all day, and it's just dark all the time. and I got to come to work in the dark on my scooter with my little light on. I got to go home in the dark with my scooter and my little light on. You know how hard it is to dodge zombies on the Embarcadero in the dark? Because you can't see them as well. And they move faster at night. These zombies are nocturnal. Like when you come to the show in the day, they're all slow and they're just like kind of hungover from the night before or whatever they're on. And then when you go home, it's game time, baby. That's their game. When the sun goes down, the zombies come out. And now I got to deal with zombies both ways. Uphill in the snow, on the scooter, both ways. Because of some dork, whoever Father Time is, whoever is in charge of time, whoever is Senator Time in Washington, D.C., this is just BS. Like, can we just have it light so we can go golfing later, so we can barbecue still? I know there's a natural progression. I know how the seasons work. But to just lop off an hour like that, or give me an hour, whatever the hell it is, I get confused, and make it dark all the time, it pisses me off more than books with lots of words. It really does. Like books with words, too many words, and nighttime really, really piss me off. All right, 808 KNBR if you want to talk about anything. I'm just going to do a crazy ADD hour tonight. We'll talk Giants baseball. What do you think they need to do? We'll talk manager carousel. Bob Melvin is your skipper. Are you excited about that? Are you excited about when they announced the coaching staff? I am. Do you want to talk Warriors basketball? Because they look really, really good to me. They're a really, really, really good team. And then what else? That's it. 808 KNBR is the number. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back in a minute on the Sports Leader.
Murray, corner three. And lets the crowd know. Yeah. Steph's got 25 and make it 28 with that make. 7 threes last night, 7 threes tonight. Timeout Pistons.
He just wanted to give the crowd a chance to take a picture, beating his chest.
We were down 6, I think, at one point in the fourth, and then end up winning by 11. So it gives you a lot of confidence that you can always, win any type of game. But we're very nitpicky around the way that we feel like we can play for 48 minutes. So you want to correct the mistakes in the meat of the game that doesn't make it come down to a wire every night.
Play KNBR at your pad on your Apple HomePod. KNBR Tonight with former Giant FP Santangelo. Now continues on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
All right, Power Hour coming right at you. It's not like the morning show. We still have 100 commercials on this show at night, but it's going to be the ADD hour. My kids spell dad ADD. I've told you that a million times. Warriors win 120-109. Steph with 34, 7 3-pointers. Before we get to the text line, there's some great text messages on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. And the phone calls. I want to congratulate Adam Copeland. He's my boss now. Adam Copeland is the new program director here at KNBR. It was made official today. So how does this work? Like, he was my coworker last week, and maybe I said some things that I wouldn't have said to him as my boss, but now he's my boss. So is that grandfathered in? Like, if I said some things, like maybe confided in him in some off the field activities that I wouldn't have said to my boss, but now he's my boss? Like, I'm confused. He's going to have the big office right on the other side of the studio. And trust me, this is a really good thing for everybody here. Like, he's San Franciscan. He's a Giants fan. This is really good. But I'm making this about me like I always do because the world revolves around me. You guys know that. Like, how does this work? Like, when Dusty Baker was my manager, I forgot that he was my manager sometimes, and I would say, F you, Bake, and then I'd be like, I'll sit on the bench for 5 days. Like, I got to kiss his ass now? Just like, Hey, Copes, you're the best. I really like you. Please don't fire me because you're my boss now. Like, how does this work? Like, I got to talk to my therapist about my coworker who's now my boss. I'm just super confused. I'm glad for him. He's a great dude. He deserves anything good that happens to him. But I'm just like I said, I'm super confused. But seriously, in all seriousness, and me being dumb aside, congratulations to Adam Copeland. That's a great hire by everybody at Cumulus. Larry Bloomhagen, whoever had anything to do with this, great job, standing ovation. He's a good guy, and I'll probably be fired next week after I said that. But anyways, what? I'm super excited to have somebody that knows Bay Area sports in charge of the sports leader. We're the freaking Yankees of sports talk radio. And we got to start acting. Enough of that. All right, so let's go to the text line. Hey, FP, I just want to acknowledge, I remember you calling the Diamondbacks right out of spring training. I did. And you obviously were totally right. I was. You know your stuff. I do. Way more than you give yourself credit for. I enjoy learning more about the game from you. I've had the toughest few months of my life lately, and listening to you has been the only thing that's been pleasant in my life. You guys make me emotional on some of these. I've been listening the whole time. Just couldn't really call in. Please don't stop. Your show has been life-saving for me this year. I'm not exaggerating. P.S. I freaking knew we were the same age. Didn't make sense that you were a year younger. I want that baseball card. That's mean Colleen. And she puts not cheating. If you remember, I had a show about cheating, and I said texting somebody when you're in a relationship is cheating. It's electronic cheating. And so Colleen texted me on the text line and said, am I cheating right now because I'm texting you? She's funny. Thanks for the sweet words, Colleen. That's really cool. And I do need to. I watched the Manning cast tonight. She's saying about the Manning cast. The Manning cast is great. Peyton and Eli are teaching me things. I know how to read defenses now by watching the Manning cast. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger was on with a donkey. And I was like, man, I should have took a gummy for this. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger was feeding a donkey on the Manning cast. And I would have tripped balls if I was seeing that. Yeah. Just sitting there, donkey, feeding it a carrot, talking to the Manning brothers while the football game's going on. I mean, who wouldn't love that? We need to get a donkey in here for the night show and put it on the YouTube, on the all-new KNBR app. Yes. FP and a donkey. The donkey probably say smarter things than I would. Let's go to the phone lines. Joe in Kansas City. Joe, you are the sports leader. What's going on?
Hi, FP. I have frustration tonight. In passing, I heard that Blaine Kuyber was nominated for the Ford Frick Award, and I said, oh, cool. Then I got to thinking, I want to see when the vote is so I can see if he gets it. So I go online, of course, and I look it up. I go, oh, Kruk and Kite both got nominated. That's very nice. But then I looked a little farther down the list, and there he was, Joe effing Buck.
What's wrong with Joe Buck? Joe Buck takes so much crap. I think he's really good at what he does. I'm a fan.
Well,
everybody hates him. He's great.
I hated him in the World Series when he just really wasn't that enthusiastic about the Giants winning. But, I mean, it's obvious what's going to happen here.
What's going to happen? Tell me, how's this going to work out, Joe? You know that they can't get in together. That I had Eric Nadel on Friday. He is the voice of the Texas Rangers for 45 years, and he's the Ford C. Frick Award winner in 2014. And we said on air, I said, is there a way they can go in together? And they've petitioned the Hall of Fame to see if that could happen. But then they said it gets tricky because there's a lot of great teams throughout the course of history. And if one broadcaster is a little better than the other, which in this case, I don't think so, and I think they want to go in together, that it gets tricky. So that said, I was hoping for a tie. Maybe there could be a tie. And they both get in.
What's going to happen is they're going to split the Giants vote, and Joe Buck's going to get it.
Well, you know what? He probably deserves it, and there'll be more chances. I think Kite puts Ford C. Frick loser, FFCL or something, on that ball that he signs 3 times. I think Kruk puts it on there. He's been twice, so I don't think they give a crap. I really don't. It's not going to change their lives either way. In my mind, they're Hall of Famers. They're Hall of Fame people, number one, and they're Hall of Fame broadcasters, number 2.
True. I mean, and they've both been through the wars the last 3 years, 4 years. I was born and raised in California. I only moved out here for work, but I'm glad I did because they have the best heart transplant hospital in the country, from what I understand. So,
did you get a heart transplant, Joe?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It's not fun. Is everything going okay?
Going great. It's been 3 years now, and I'm doing really well. And so yeah, it's not what it used to be as far as, oh my gosh, he's going to die. It's, yeah, we can do this. And so, yeah, they did it, and I'm doing great. But I agree with you about them not really caring one way or another. It frustrates me as a fan. I'm still a Giants fan. I'll always be a Giants fan. You know, my desktop background is a Giants logo, the whole bit. But I just think it's a little frustrating. Listening to Joe Buck now is good. I mean, he's good. I just didn't particularly care for his attitude. His attitude when the Giants win the series.
Yeah, but, I mean, no region loves losing their broadcasters for the playoffs. That happened in D.C. when I was there, and it's just we know the team intimately, right? We know we travel with them. We know the wives. We know the kids. Hopefully, we don't know the wives intimately, or we won't have our job very long. But we know the kids, and we know the parents, and we know the aunts and the uncles, and so we know the team in and out. They just come in, they talk to the manager for 20 minutes, and then that's why the home fan base gets frustrated because there's no way, and it's not their fault, that they can know the team as well as we do when we're with them every single day. So like, oh, this guy sucks. Da, da, da. He's for the other team because Kipe and Kruk, they know all this stuff, and he doesn't. And he's just talking about the other team because you're used to hearing your broadcasters talk about your team because you have to know your audience. And when you're the Giants broadcaster, 90% of the fans watching the game are Giants fans. The other 10% are just watching out of market or whatever. So you cater to your audience. And when you get to a national broadcast with Joe Buck or whomever, it's 50-50. That 50-50 seems like 90-10 because you're used to 90-10 Giants for 162 games. You're used to the voices that are comforting to you for 35 years. So now you got a different voice, a different dude that doesn't know as much, that isn't talking about your team as much because he has to be right down the middle, and it seems like he's not. So that's why it doesn't matter what market. Texas Rangers right now probably are like, oh, those national guys, Joe Davis sucks and John Smoltz sucks, and we wanted our guys. That happens every year in the playoffs. And you're not the only one, Joe. Everybody feels like that. I want to leave you with this. I was at a party in D.C., and Dick Cheney and I kind of hit it up. And we were talking for a while, and he came over and showed me pictures of his new heart on his cell phone. He goes, here's my old heart. Look how blue. Oh, look at this one. And he's like, here's my new heart. And he's like, I mean, most of the time, like, you know, you're at a party with a guy, they're showing you other pictures in their phone. He's showing me pictures of his heart in his phone. And
I don't have a picture. I don't have a picture of my new heart. I do have one sitting there in a chair with me with my old heart. So
yeah.
And
Well,
I got
congratulations on your new heart. How long has it been since you had your transplant?
3.5 years. Doing great.
I think you said that. I missed that. Thank you so much. I mean, that's good, Joe.
No problem.
It sounds like you sound great, and I hope you feel great.
I do. Thank you much. I'm glad you're back in the Bay Area.
Thanks, dude. I'm glad to be back too, man. I'm home and it feels good. Let's go to Philip in Austin, Texas. We got Kansas City, Austin, Texas. Where's San Francisco, man? Where's everybody in the city? Give us a call. Philip, what's going on in Austin, Texas?
It's going good. I mean, I haven't been paying attention to the Warriors as much because of how busy my schedule has been. How busy?
What's that? Your schedule's been, you haven't been paying attention to the Warriors as much?
Because of how busy my schedule has been with school and all the extracurriculars I've been doing.
Well, Philip, before we get to the Warriors, how old are you?
17.
And what's the extracurriculars that you're doing?
Well, I'm enrolled in a national community service club known as Family Community Careers of America, FCCLA for short.
That's very cool. And what does that entail?
Well, it entails community service. I'm usually hoping that we'll, get used. That we'll be able to win regionals and state.
Well, how does that work? You just the team that does the most community service or for the best cause, and it's voted on. How does this work?
So basically, for competitions, we choose on what we get to compete for.
And what are you guys competing for? Did you choose that yet?
No, I'm still discussing that with my teachers.
All right. Well, maybe you guys can fly to San Francisco and clean up the Embarcadero sidewalk. That'd be great community service. Just scrape all the crap off the sidewalk, Philip. It's just, seriously, it would take you like a couple years with like the biggest power washer ever, and maybe a level 5 hurricane would have to come through. But that would be tremendous community service, and I would vote for you if you did that. We got these hot dog stands. And then they take these big wieners and they wrap them in bacon. And then all the grease hits the ground.
Yes.
And it just turns the Embarcadero sidewalk just all kinds of weird colors. So if you guys can come out and do that, I'll fix it so you guys win. Is that cool?
You really think that Glenn FCCLA could do an entire high school FCCLA team, Texas high school FCCLA team could clean the streets of San Francisco?
Yeah, your kids are all on Adderall. You could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it. Take it 10 minutes, Philip. I got you. You could do this. What do you want to talk about the Warriors, Philip? I'm having fun with you tonight. I appreciate you calling. Well, you want to talk about the Warriors? You haven't had a chance to see them play. They're really good this year.
Yes, I understood. I've heard a few games. The only game I saw was like years back when they played the Thunder.
Well, what do you want me to tell you about him? They got this guy named Steph Curry that's maybe having his best year. You know Steph Curry. He's a rock star. It's like the Beatles wherever he goes.
Yeah.
He's the best player in the NBA, in my opinion.
Of course I know Steph Curry. I'm even in the Warriors IG broadcast channel.
Okay. So what did you want to talk about the Warriors tonight from Austin, Texas? By the way, everybody's moving to Austin. It says a bunch of rich Hollywood people there now, right?
Right, exactly. A lot of people have been moving to Austin. I don't know if any Dubs have ever visited the city themselves. Like even to see an Austin FC game. Go bad day. Go.
All right. Well, keep watching the Warriors, Philip. Keep doing really good things besides calling a sports talk radio show. It sounds like you're on the right track. Are you getting good grades? And where are we going to college?
I'm still figuring out. Let's see. I'm still deciding.
Like Waco, I heard is a good college. What is that? That's Baylor. Baylor's in Waco, and then the University of Texas is right there in Austin, right?
Yeah, I only live 30 minutes from there.
All right. Well, good luck with all your endeavors, Philip. I appreciate you calling tonight.
All right, sounds good.
All right, take care. Get some sleep, punk. Calling a radio show at 7. Wait, what is he? Hey, calling a radio show. What is it in Austin with daylight savings? It's like 11. That was nice of him. He's a nice kid. But if he wants to win an award, come clean up the streets of San Francisco, bro. Seriously. Got a job for you right now. You want a community service award? I'll give you the biggest blue ribbon ever. Start right down. You just take Broadway straight out to to the Embarcadero. Hang a left, though. You go right back to my house, right? But if you hang a left, it's where all the ferries go to Alcatraz. And right there is where all the hot dog stands have made the sidewalk pitch black. That's where we need. I don't know where the show is going tonight. This is awesome. Let's go to Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text. I'm getting text messages from my friends who are going to bed. They can't stand it. The 831 chiming in. Remember when you trying to interesting. Yes, I remember. This is the Erin Andrews story when she was covering the Barry Bonds. Do I remember that? Yes. Let's go to Noah in San Francisco. Noah will put the wheels back on this show, but sometimes I like when the wheels are off this show. So sometimes it's better when I'm just all over the map. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, how you doing? That sounded like a nice kid, man.
Right? What a nice kid. He just got absolutely destroyed by the night host on KNBR. But he's a good kid. I hope he. Anyways, what do you want to talk about, Noah?
You down to talk some baseball?
I'm down to talk whatever, dude. I'm trying to get to 10 o'clock, and we're just having like a potpourri ADD show. It's hard to plan out an hour show, so I figured I'd just come in, open the phone lines after a thrilling Chargers-Jets game and talk about some Giants baseball, some managers, and I watched the Warriors game tonight. It was cool because I got to watch the Warriors on a weeknight, so I had fun watching the Dubs win in Detroit.
Oh man, yeah. No, they played a nice game. They're looking really deep, actually. That second unit's looking really good.
Yeah.
I got to see him last week when Clay hit the game winner.
Well, that's cool against the Kings.
Yeah. But yeah, free agency. Who do you want to see sign with the Giants?
I want him to trade for Juan Soto because I'm scared that here's my fear, and this happened today. I'm scared David Ross is going to be the Padres manager, and I'm scared that Juan Soto is going to fall in love with David Ross. I know Rossi very well. We're friends. We were with the Dodgers together.
I can't believe the Cubs did that.
I can't believe they did it either, and it's kind of crappy. If you want my like gut reaction to it, was like, okay, if I'm counsel, 5 years, $40 million, $8 a year, you're setting up your family for life. I get that, but like taking another man's job to me just doesn't sit right. Like if they had fired David Ross, and I know this has happened before, it's not the first time, but if they had fired David Ross and that job was open, then tip your cap. But now he's going to the rivalry, by the way, between the Brewers and the Cubs might be better than the Cubs and the Cardinals now all of a sudden with what happened today. But all the goodwill that Craig Counsell developed over the years in Milwaukee, which is one of my favorite stops, Noah, by the way. Like the people in Milwaukee are beautiful. Everybody in that organization, the coaching staff, the broadcast team, wonderful people. I love Milwaukee. I was lucky enough to go there with the Giants this year. When I saw that, I was like, I get to go to Milwaukee. It's one of my favorite spots. And then to see the local guy, Craig Counsell, like just bolt for the rival for $40 million, it's just, I don't know. I'm not big about it's almost like stealing a man's girl or something. Like it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know.
No, it's like I see that sometimes in whatever sport, and it's almost like they're like it's like a home wrecker or something. Like, you know, it's like it's a terrible analogy, but
kinda,
I don't know, like but it kind of works. No, I mean I know Craig Counsell's a good manager, but I thought Ross was a very likable manager. It also just seemed kind of very un-Cubs-like. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't seem like an organization that would do that.
Well, the word on the street is what John Heyman, everyone's reporting, is that like they had a shot at one of the best managers in baseball that's done a lot with a little payroll, and he's been to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years with like the 21st payroll in Major League Baseball. And, you know, he has no holes in his game as a manager. Like, he's as solid a game manager as it gets. So it was an upgrade. It was like, you know, it was an upgrade for the Cubs in their mind. I know David Ross very well. I don't know his managerial skills per se because I don't watch 50 to 60 Cubs games a year. I probably saw 10 this year. I know they folded. Right. They went El Foldo down the stretch, and that never sits well with an ownership group. There could be dynamics behind the scenes with presidents and front office and brass and in the dugout that we don't know about, relationships that we're never privy to. So there's a lot of things. I was telling my son this today. No, there's a lot of things in baseball that go on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. And you're just like, wait, they fired him? I'm not saying he did anything wrong, but there could be like disagreements and you don't get along with somebody that's high up, whether it's Jed Hoyer or whoever it is.
I don't know if you remember last year at the trade deadline when they traded Hader and what Eric Lauer said after. But Lauer came forward and was like, "Yeah, the Brewers, man, he just kind of let out some steam, and he was like, I hate how we do this. Like this organization, when it needs to pay someone, ends up trading them instead. And I know the Brewers stayed in it this year, but I wonder with David Stearns being hired by the Mets and now Counsell going to the Cubs, I wonder if the Brewers are going to maybe, I don't know about tear it all down, but let off some pieces. And I would love Corbin Burns on the Giants. I think if you really want to do something creative, you get Corbin Burns next to Logan Webb, who's a Cy Young finalist.
Let's go, bro.
Today.
Corbin, you're preaching to the choir, dude. I'm the biggest Corbin Burns fan in the world. He's got a short arm delivery, and his 96 jumps on you. He's got the nastiest cutter in baseball, and he's a gamer. I'm all for that.
Yeah, dude, 96-mile-an-hour cutters at Oracle Park. Put Corbin Burns next to Webb. Sign Yamamoto or Sonny Gray. I mean, with Cobb being sidelined now with a hip injury, I think really Logan Webb's the only one who we can pencil in for 200 innings next year. And you got to – I know they're going to find some – they're going to give some innings to Kyle Harrison, and I think Harrison's great, but is he going to cover 180 innings? Like, I'd be skeptical.
What if he went same lineup, but
okay.
Corbin Burns, Blake Snell, Logan Webb. You just loaded the F up on pitching. And you didn't get a hitter. I wonder if Giants fans would be all right. I wonder if that would fly, and I wonder if they'd win if you just went straight, we got to score 3 runs every night, and we're going to win.
Pitching and defense never go out of style. And I think, the playoffs this year were a lot of bats. There's a lot of home runs and, lots of run scores. I know baseball is trending more towards runs scored. But yeah, if you had a rotation with those 3, I mean, that'd be a happy off season for me. I just want them to do some creative stuff. Like I threw out the idea to somebody of a Pete Alonso trade. Just something to shake things up, because I know Conforto opted in today, and I like Michael Conforto. I
did
think
too.
He's a solid player.
I like him as a person. He's got to play better next year. I think he knows that. But he's got to play. He's got to play. Not get pinch hit for in the 4th inning.
And if the Giants roll out that same outfield unit next year, that's not good. I think Melvin's the type of manager where I think you're going to see a guy like Tyler Fitzgerald get 400 at-bats. I would love to see Tyler Fitzgerald or Matos get 400 at-bats. But if you're just going to go Conforto, Yaz, and Haniger again, I'm not too on board.
Oh,
with
man.
that.
I don't know either. Dude, I forget I'm on TV. I just was plucking my eyebrows while I was talking to you. Then I looked over at the big screen where I'm delay. I'm just like, what an idiot. That's an idiot. What else was I going to say to you, dude? I think it's going to be a big off season for him. And pitching, I'm all about the pitching. Bring on the pitching and maybe Juan Soto. Oh, I know what I was going to say to you. There was guys that I wasn't for. I don't want to name names right now, but maybe I will later. There was guys I wouldn't have traded at the deadline, but at the end of the season, September, after seeing them for July, August and September, 2 more months, that I would trade now. I would be if I were Farhan, I'd be open to trading pretty much anyone but Patrick Bailey.
Yeah.
I don't want to start naming names and what I feel is right or wrong with them. There's certain guys that I thought were untouchable that are touchable now. There's certain guys, you could probably figure out who I'm saying. It's everybody but Bailey. Everybody but Bailey. Yeah. I would trade. It would be the only untouchable to me as far as the younger player would be Patrick Bailey.
I think Bailey is definitely gold to the franchise. I know they're very high on him. I think Luciano's bat speed's off the charts. I got to see it in person. I know you've seen it. I mean, I think you give Marco Luciano lots of at-bats, and I think he's going to grow into being a star. It's probably going to take some time, but I think that kind of exit velo and bat speed just doesn't come around every day. Everybody else, I mean, Kyle Harrison, I wouldn't want to trade him, but I got to look.
I'd trade him. I'd trade him tomorrow. I would. I got to get better quick, Noah. The division is no slouch. You have the Diamondbacks who play in the World Series. The Dodgers are going to win 100 games again, and the Padres have a Hall of Fame lineup that lost a lot of close games. You're probably in the toughest division in the National League. So if it means trading to Kyle Harrison and he wins 2 Cy Young somewhere else, but I get a Juan Soto for him, who's a once in a generation player in a package deal, like I'm open. I like parades over prospects. So
okay, that's funny because that last trade deadline when I threw out the Shohei Ohtani trade idea, you're like,
I know.
Nah, we got to keep the kids.
I told you I saw enough of them to know that they're expendable now for me, and maybe they weren't at the trade deadline, and I understood what Farhan did, what he did, but I also know they got to get better quick. And I hate to play GM on the radio, but like I would say it's all on the table for me at this point, and it wasn't at the trade deadline.
I got, as what you just said about broadcasters to another caller, knowing when fan bases, we tune in and we know the Giants lineup, right? Like outside fans are not going to know who, and we also know the farm system, and outside fans are not going to know who Luis Matos is, right? Or Carson Wisenhunt, who's in Double-A. But I got to say, you are onto something there in terms of, if you're talking about prospects who are actually panning out, or prospects who you kind of got to think like a GM, right? Like, who's going to be an impact big leaguer down the road? Like, who's going to be someone who is going to help the Giants really win games? And, yeah, Bailey is that kind of player. But, sure, I mean, you have a good point. Like, when you're talking about some of these other young guys, I mean, some of the appeal is that basically just that they're young. And I think they do need to shake it up. And I know, I mean, here's an idea I'll throw out because, I obviously have, no sense of, having to worry about what I say to the Giants. But I would non-tender Austin Slater, and I would trade Yaz. And I love both of those guys, but if you really want to shake things up, if Slater's calling card is that he hits lefties, so does Wilmer Flores. And I don't know.
They just got to get fast, Noah, whatever fast is. I just want fast dudes. Lots of fast dudes.
I used to work with a brilliant bartender at Perry's named Kevin Young, and he passed away from cancer. But we talk baseball every day. And Kevin, we talk about the Giants. And these were the real dog days. It was 2017, 2018, and when they were really bad. And Kevin would say, "Too old, too white, too slow," and it was. I don't know. It just still feels relevant.
Well, the game has changed between then and now, too, that it's really emphasizing speed more, i.e. the Diamondbacks, the Reds. You see all the fun young teams. They're dynamic. They got fast guys. The stolen base is back. Going first to third or first to home on a double is back. Covering ground in the outfield is cool again. And covering ground in the infield, you have to because there's no shift. So, yeah, that speed and athleticism are a big part of the game, and quite frankly, I love that. I was growing tired of the 3 true outcomes: a home run, a strikeout, or a walk. Hit it over the shift. Swing as hard as you can.
No.
It's just.
I mean, Corbin Carroll's phenomenal. He's quite a talent with that kind of speed. I mean, the dude's 5'9", 5'8", and he's just fast as hell.
I think he's 4'11", actually, but he's really. But who cares? He's really good. All right, Noah. Thanks for the call, dude. It's good hearing your voice, brother. You always contribute to the show big time. Really good stuff.
Hey, thank you. Good talking to you, my friend.
Man. Let's take a break. We'll take a quick commercial break. I see everybody on hold. Tons of text messages. I'll get to all those next on the Sports Leader.
without further ado, it's my honor, my pleasure to announce that the 2025 All-Star Game will be held here in San Francisco at the Chase Center.
Enjoy KNBR in FM at 104.5 FM. Now back to KNBR Tonight with FP Santangelo on the Sports Leader.
There could be a lot of home runs hitting that All-Star Game. That's a small ballpark. Oh, it's the NBA All-Star Game? Oh, all right. Congratulations to the Chase Center. What's going on with this APEC thing this week? Like, all my buddies are in town, by the way. All my Secret Service agent buddies. I get to see all my friends from D.C. They're all coming out because they're protecting protectees. So I get to see them this week, so I'm super excited. I probably should do some research on this APEC thing. It's just like a political thing to make the city better again. Just listen to my show. All you people just listen to my show. I got ideas. You heard my one for the Embarcadero. Yeah, thanks to the kid for calling tonight. There's a lot of text messages about the kid. Philip, was it Philip? He's a nice kid. Called tonight. The Golden State Lumber Building Materials text line. The 530s chime in. FP Santangelo, good evening. DJ from Roseville. I don't know if it was the kid from Waco or you that made my night. Let's go ahead and give tonight to the kid from Waco. Yeah, let's give it to him. He was great. I like to have fun with younger callers. I think it's great.
Hi, I'm Dave Fleming, and I hate kids.
I love kids. Well, that's there's a soundbite. Please don't do that. That's terrible. The 707 chime in. I feel bad I had sent some text making fun of the kid, but it's good to know that there are worse people out there than me talking about me. I handled that really well. I always handle it. You guys got to start putting kid in parentheses on the call. So we have a call screen. And it says, like, Gabe from Martinez. He wants to talk about Dubon. Now, if Gabe was 12, I want kid in parentheses. Because I was talking about boners the other night, Viagra medication. I'm like, apparently, everybody that listens to KNBR can't get a boner because they're just driving around and every commercial is Viagra, yeah, whatever it is. And so I'm like, boner. And I go, oh, let's go to the phones. And it was some 12-year-old kid after I'm talking about boners. So we need to tighten it up. You guys are going to get me fired. Gabe and Martinez, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, FP.
Settle down, Gabe. Settle down. How we doing tonight? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good.
Good to hear your voice, bring some fresh air, levity, and, the daylight savings, I think, knocked everybody out.
It did. It kicked my ass. You know what, Gabe? There's two things you can control every day. It's your attitude and your effort. There's so many things out of your control in the world. So I always try to bring a good attitude to the show, and I always try to give it a good effort, just like I did in baseball every single day. There's so many uncontrollables. Like, I don't know what you guys are going to say on the line. I don't know if there's going to be breaking news. I don't know what a guest is going to say that I bring on. But if I have a good attitude and a good effort, attitude and a good effort, it's going to be a fun show. So what do you want to talk about tonight, Gabe?
Well, I called, just to give tip a hat off to Mauricio Dubon. I know that, like when he was here with the Giants, you could see he was a young kid. He grew up in Sacramento. He's from Honduras, but, he spent his teenage years there in Sac, and then, going all, being that young age and, not having his whole family with him. But, he made it out. He got drafted by the Red Sox and did some time in Milwaukee, and also I think with the Astros before they came here to the Giants, and he kind of got the rough shaft. I won't say by the team, but he played everywhere. But the morning crew, those guys, Murph and Mack, they rode his ass, and I didn't think that was called for. He was a young kid, doing the best he could, and it's great to see that under Dusty's wing there with the Astros. The guy shined. He's I think he won his first Gold Glove, and he's played like
Yeah, he did win his first Gold Glove today, and it was for a utility player. And I've been clamoring for that for years for obvious reasons. And I was telling my son today I would have won a couple of those. And I think it's harder to play a bunch of positions than play one. And I don't think I ever made more than 3 errors in a year. And I think I made a total of 18 or 19 in 7 big league seasons. So I took pride in, if you played me at short one day, you thought I was a shortstop. If you played me at second one day, you thought I was a second baseman. I was in center, like that center fielder's good. And I worked really hard at that. And I always thought, like, people would say, man, they should have a gold glove for utility players because you would win. I'm so glad they have that now, and I'm so glad that Mauricio won it. Mauricio's a great kid. I've gotten to meet him a couple of times. He's friends with my son. They grew up playing junior college ball together or against each other, I think, in Sacramento with each other. I can't remember the story. And when the Giants got rid of him, in their defense, like, he wasn't the Mauricio Dubon that he is now. And sometimes as a player, you just land in a different scenario with a different manager and a different philosophy that you vibe with. And he got to play in Houston. Like, Dusty just said, you're my guy. You're going to be my utility guy. Dusty always has a utility guy. He loves to have one because it covers his ass on the bench if somebody gets hurt or somebody gets thrown out of the game or he needs a pinch hit. So he said, you're going to be my utility guy. And then Mauricio just ran with it, to his credit. But he was in a better situation for himself in Houston. And it wasn't that the Giants didn't develop him or the Giants got rid of him and they should have kept him. When they made that decision, he was a young player that they thought that they could get rid of or trade for. I don't even know what it was with Houston. And then sometimes you just develop a little bit later. Sometimes you're a late bloomer, and I think that's what he was. He found a better situation for himself. He's a late bloomer, and I'm so happy for him. He won a World Series last year, and he won a Gold Glove this year.
Right, yeah. I think when the Giants traded for him, I think we were hurting at catcher, and they traded for some backup catcher for him. But it is what it is. Is all I got to say. And I mean, you rock. I mean, you're a one-man show. You're like the Italian stallion. You don't need a sidekick, to bounce off of. You do it all by yourself.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks. I appreciate it, Gabe. Good stuff. Thanks for the kind words. Let's go to Roy in San Leandro, and Roy's going to tell us about the minor league system and who we should trade for.
Well, I wasn't going to say all that, but I was just going to say that it's interesting that you brought that up, and that guy before the break, he mentioned some real good things. But I would just say that improving your lineup, what's his name? This Carl Yastrzemski's grandson, he would be a lot better if you had the right hitters in your lineup. Just like this guy they got from the Mets, the first baseman and third baseman. I can't think of his name.
J.D.
right now.
Davis.
No, the other one. The other one.
Michael Conforto?
Yeah, him.
He's not a third baseman or a first baseman, Roy. He's an outfielder.
Okay.
J.D. Davis is the guy that plays third and first for the Mets.
Okay, but anyway, what I'm saying is that, he's a good hitter. And then just like today, I understand, like Joey Votto's up, the Reds parted ways with him. I mean, he's a good hitter. You could get him.
He's done, dude. He's too old. He's done.
Well, what I'm saying is that you could try him for maybe just 1 year.
No, we got to get younger, Roy. We got to get younger, more athletic. Joey Votto's a Hall of Famer borderline and a wonderful dude. But no, we got to get younger and more athletic, not older and unathletic.
Okay, even if you don't get him, what I'm saying is that I could go along with that, with what you just said. But I am saying that like that guy mentioned before the break, we need to, it needs to be a shakeup, and they need at least 1 or 2 good hitters in their lineup to bring those other hitters along. And I think Bob Melvin is right there situated where he can do that. And then too, on the pitching side, all the Giants have to do is possibly, I know it's not going to be easy, whether it's by trade or free agency, bring in another lefty to go, and then maybe 1 more right-handed starter to go in, because the Giants seem like they have a halfway decent bullpen. So, to me, that's what they need, 2 good hitters, and then maybe, 2 more good starters. And then until those young guys can develop, just let them play. That second baseman, they got the guy named Theodore or whatever his name is, and Luciano, just let them play, and soon enough, they'll adapt to Major League pitching.
All right, Roy, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. Let's go to Craig in Arizona. Craig wants to talk about Torey Lovullo. I'm just reading this right now. I'm reading this article. Well, I wasn't reading it while Roy was talking, I swear. That Terry Francona was the highest paid manager in the big leagues at $4.5 million a year, and Counsell he's making $8 now. Like, he blew that out of the water, and Terry Francona's been managing for 1 million years. What's going on, Craig? How you doing?
Hey, I got 2 points tonight, my friend.
Okay.
What a travesty that Terry Lovello didn't get nominated for Manager of the Year.
I said that earlier. It's a joke. He should win it, and he wasn't even nominated.
I know. That shows you the brain trust of Major League Baseball or something. But I follow the Diamondbacks all year. Yankees first, Giants second, and, Diamondbacks third. And what a travesty. Number 2, you said the other night that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is your favorite movie of all time. Same with me. So I want to know what your favorite scene is in that movie.
When Jack Nicholson's calling the World Series, when they take the radio away and he's just calling it. He's just making it up in his head, and he's doing the play-by-play.
Isn't that something? But how about before that? Hey, Nurse Ratched, all we want to do is watch the frickin' baseball game.
Yeah, and then I think she turned off the TV, right? Or took the radio away, if I can't remember right. I like when they went fishing, too, and stole the fishing boat. That made me laugh when, I think it was Martini was driving the fishing boat singing I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
And that's my favorite scene, is the fishing boat scene.
And they're just driving around in circles. Oh, my God.
This is Dr. So-and-so,
Yes.
and this is Dr. So-and-so. But another great scene is when he's got Chief playing basketball.
Yeah, I love it. I love the whole movie, Craig. It's my favorite movie ever. I mean, I you know what I need to do? I think I'm off here in 10 minutes. I'm gonna ride my scooter home, dodge zombies on the Embarcadero, and then just put Cuckoo's Nest on. I'm gonna find it on one of the apps.
Hey, I'll do it tonight too.
All right. I want. So my senior year in English at Oak Ridge High School, my teacher made me write a book report or an essay on it. So I read after seeing the movie, I read the book, and I think I read the book a couple of times. I read it once in college and wrote a paper on it. The book is really good too, and it's pretty along the same lines as the movie. And I just like Jack Nicholson. I thought that was one of his greatest roles ever. And just the way they Nurse Ratched, I think she won an Academy Award for that. She was amazing in that movie. Perfectly cast, perfectly played. And then just all the characters, whether it was Billy Bibbit, whether it was Martini, whether it was Chief, whether it was... I can't even remember Jack Nicholson's name. I'm drawing a blank in the movie on it, but literally my favorite.
Randall P. McMurphy.
Yes, Randall P. McMurphy. Absolutely. Great knowledge. It's still my favorite movie. I talked about it the other night, forgot to go home and watch it because I think I went out with some friends after the show, but I'm going to watch it tonight.
Hey, let's go do it.
Let's go do it. All right, Craig. Well, call me with a full report tomorrow. I'm on from 6 to 10.
All right, thanks.
All right, going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll end the show on the other side. You're listening to FP Santangelo. This is KNBR Tonight on the Sports Leader.
For Detroit, there are better days ahead. They've got talent on this team. And they were down a couple guys tonight. They gave the Warriors all they would want. So 120-109. The Dubs, all right, you want to play 7 games in 7 different cities? How about being 6-2 and 5-1 on the road? Incredible beginning to the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's been something that's been fun to watch develop, is down the stretch, especially Chris handling the ball, Steph off the ball, and Chris just, finding him in the right spot. It's happened a few times now that we don't play them a ton together. Obviously, Chris is running the team when Steph's on the bench, but, most nights they're out there for 6 or 8 minutes together, and down the stretch, it's a really important dynamic for us.
Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, KNBR Tonight with FP Santangelo continues live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Such a catchy tune, dude. Good video, too. Is it Jennifer Coolidge in this video?
Yes.
I want to say it's Jennifer Coolidge in this video. I'll have to fact check that. Here's the thing with what Steve Kerr was just saying, and Bob Fitzgerald. I always like starting the season out on the road because you're with your family the whole off season, and the best way to come together as a group is to travel together. You're on the plane, you're playing cards. It's your plane. It's a charter. You're on the buses. It's your bus. You're in the clubhouse. It's your club. The best way to come together as a unit is to be on the road together because there's no distractions. You're not trying to cut out early because when you have a homestand, it's family time. So you don't like to unless you hate your wife and hate your kids, you don't like to stay in the clubhouse or the locker room for a long time after the game because you want to see your family because you're about to go on the road again. You're only home for so many games. But the Warriors have played so many games on the road, they're bonding right now. And they never bonded last year. So this is super important. And when you looked at the schedule, I never thought of this until Steve Kerr just said that. They're coming together as a group. They're on the charters probably from Detroit to Denver tonight, having some drinks, playing some cards, talking about the game. They went from Indiana to Detroit last night. So this is all really good stuff, what's going on. And then you got new guys like Sasic and CP3 and whomever. They just signed the kid from Brazil to a 3-year deal today. So the Warriors are, this is all good. We started all bad last year. This is all good. And you can't find that kind of analysis anywhere. You got to tune into the Esports Leader to get that breakdown.
Yes.
Let's try the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. On the way out, we will see Sam Darnold soon. The 805 is chiming in. Ooh, a little foreshadowing there. I don't hate that text, by the way. A couple of weeks ago, Negative Me walked in here and said the story of the year is going to be Brock Purdy, and it's not going to be good. I was like, oh, I can't believe I even thought that. And now it's coming to fruition. No, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. It's fine. We're fine. You're fine. We're all fine. Why don't managers make more than the players? Because they don't hit home runs. They just sit there. And post topless pictures on Instagram. And their hand going to a coffee shop. They get paid handsomely. But 4.5, Terry Frank, I didn't know that. There's SEC coaches that make $4 million a year. There's no way that if you do 162 games, you should make less than a guy that does 60 games. And one's the highest level and one's not. Anyways. All right, we'll be back from 6 to 10 tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Back in our own slot. We had some programming shifts and move around dealios tonight. So we had to play Monday Night Football. But that's not going to be a norm. I will be here every Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 p.m. You guys rocked the calls tonight. Thanks to Philip from Austin, Texas for calling. We had fun with him. He was the caller of the night easily, and I wish him luck in all of his endeavors. Raph, great job. Kyle, thanks for answering the phones. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. And like I say on the way out every single night, you know what's coming. This applies to everything in life. Swing hard in case you hit it. I'm the Sports Leader.